UFC 292 preview and prediction video. You should get pumped for this. I am pumped for this card. Doing the research for this video got me even more pumped. At the top, even the hype video before O'Malley Sterling is going to be awesome. That fight is going to be great. Quintessential striker versus grappler. You know, Magny trying to cement his legacy as the best bantamweight. O'Malley trying to do what he said he's going to do and become the best bantamweight. Then you get to watch Weili, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. Then we got Gatekeeper versus Prospect in Magny and Gary. You got two relatively unknown grapplers that get a big stage to show how good they are. And then the curtain jerker, Vera versus Munoz, is two guys that just bring it. They always get bonuses, and they have a lot to prove and a lot to gain in this fight. So if I mess up, please circle back to the video and trash me. If you got an opinion, please give it. Also, I would love it if you would subscribe, because I'm doing one of these for every UFC event. Chito Vera versus Pedro Munoz. A great main card curtain jerker. These two guys always bring it. When you watch them fight, they seem very similar. Similar stature, similar abilities, similar approach. They also have a similar list of opponents. Namely, Dominic Cruz and Frankie Edgar. But those wins Chito Vera pulled out, and those are matches that Munoz lost. Munoz is a good striker, but tends to be very linear. Chito Vera is going to separate himself a little bit because he's a lot more dynamic with his footwork and better at getting his back off the cage when he's pressed. Also, Vera has a win over Sean O'Malley, the headliner of this card. I think that's going to provide a lot of extra motivation for him. He's going to pull out the win and attempt to regain his status as up next in this division. Mario Batista versus Damon "The Monster" Blackshear. Hard fight to call because this was supposed to be Batista versus Garbrandt, which is a lot different fight, and I would have been picking Batista by a mile in that one. I hope we get the high-level grappling that on paper this says we're going to have. Batista's one of the best wrestlers in the division, has won his last 4 fights by controlling the wrestling. He's a little smaller than the Monster, who's also great on the mat, who's just coming off 1 week ago a victory in the Octagon by Twister over No Way Jose. If you haven't seen that highlight, you should watch it. Sometimes when you get great grapplers, it ends up in a striking matchup, which can go either way, be a great striking match or two guys that are better on the ground that should get on the ground. They're not giving Blackshear names like Garbrandt, so I think Batista's a little higher in his career. I think he's going to find a way to be crisper and get this win. Ian Garry versus Neil Magny. This is the type of fight that makes this sport great. An elite gatekeeper fending off an elite prospect. This is the second time this many months that Neil Magny has been put in this position. He threw water on the scorching hot Phil Rowe 2 months ago, but this is also the second time in 2 months that Neil Magny has had to make weight. A 36-year-old fighter, that could play a factor. For Ian Garry, he's got high-level judo, which typically I would pick wrestling over judo, but the way that he can control with overhooks and then land big strikes out of that is an elite skill and is uncommon. I think Garry is going to have his moment, a la Conor McGregor 2015 versus Dennis Cedar. Make a name for himself in Boston, become next Irish star, get the victory here over Neil Magny. It's going to mean something. Zhang Weili versus Amanda Lemos. Besides maybe pure punching power, I don't see where Lemos has an advantage in this fight. Lemos recently lost to Jessica Andrade, which there's no shame in that, but Andrade has lost 3 fights since then. Weili's last loss was to Rose Namajunas, and since that time, she has expanded her game dramatically in all areas. Higher strike rate, gets hit less, complete grappling improvement. I think this is going to be, in the absence of a flash KO for Lemos, a long night for the challenger, where she gets outstruck, doesn't land a lot of significant strikes, is out-grappled, is pressed against the cage a lot. Zhang Weili by very lopsided decision. And then we're on the hunt for somebody that can challenge her and give her a good fight.
Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling. This is an awesome matchup on paper. Quintessential striker versus grappler. O'Malley's got a lot going for him. Powerful striking, a clever camp, underrated grappling, and the hype train fully rolling. But I'm getting Nurmagomedov, Conor McGregor vibes here. Aljamain Sterling, with extreme couture behind him in his grappling game, just took down a gold medalist in the Olympics 4 times. The wrestling coach is pretty hard to pick against that. And he's got the Serra-Longo striking and fight IQ camp behind him. So he's going to have a great game plan. He's one of the best bantamweights in history. He's still fighting to erase the stink on his career from the weird Peter Yan stoppage. So he's got a lot to prove still. I think he's going to go in there. He's going to put O'Malley on his back a lot, take his back a lot, and get a 4th round submission.